Very good morning, our dear subscribers from all around the world. Today is a very special day. We get an honor and a great opportunity to have this interview with our guest from Kenya, from Mr. Philip Mambo. Philip, good morning.
Good morning, and how are you?
Very good, thank you very much. I should now a bit correct my greetings and say Jambo, Philip.
Jambo sana, habari.
Thank you. Philip, can you please introduce yourself? Can you tell us about your background and how you get to the flower industry?
Good. My name is Philip Mambo, the Managing Director, Fataki Packing, Kenyan Limited. I would talk about my career in the flower industry, spanning back to, I would say, 15, 16 years back. And I have worked in flower farms in Kenya as a sales and marketing manager. And I have also worked as a customer that is buying now as a customer buying from the farms. So technically speaking, I would say that I have experience both from farm, and I also have experience both in as customer. So that is a combination which really means that I understand customers' expectation from the point of view that I can instruct farms what the customer wants. And I also have a feel of the farm, how they think about satisfying customer. So that is my background in the industry.
Okay, thank you. Philip, I see that we have more or less same number of years in this industry. So we will have the very easy conversation that we remember how it all began. It's about like 20 years ago. It's whole the world was excited about the Kenya flowers. Everyone called it as a game changers, and all the investors came from France, from Germany, from Holland, from India, and everyone tried to get a piece of land in Kenya and then ship it to Flora, Holland. So it was like a booming, 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 booming. And through all these years, even I was last year 4 weeks in China exploring the Chinese flower market. It was very interesting when they say we have roses like in Kenya. So people are comparing the quality with the Kenyan flowers to get people better understand what they're presenting, what is the length, what is the size of the flower head, and also what is the quality. If we go back to those times and if we compare it with now, I know that flower export from Kenya get almost 100 billion shillings per year. But how you see this industry is now changing since then up to today?
Yeah, that's a good observation. So if you trace back from 2007, I'll take you back like a decade, more than a decade ago. From the Kenyan perspective, the market was a little bit different from today. If you consider 2007, especially in Russia, Russia used to buy long lengths, 78 sprays, and not short lengths. So Kenya was just coming in as the main producer for spray roses, and I believe the perception was South America being the leader in the export of fresh cut flowers. And now, in terms of quality, in terms of packaging, and that perception has changed today. If you consider today, I think a lot of focus now is in Africa. I mean, in Kenya, that we produce a little bit more of spray roses. I think now spray roses are coming from Africa. And if you check like the demand for Russian market, and that time, you'll find that now the Russian market is appreciating even the shorter length of intermediates, which was kind of supermarket chain in England and Japan. But now you see the Russian market now consuming the shorter length, 35 centimeters, and also distributing to the supermarket chain. Yeah, so that has really changed. I would say it's a complete turnaround in terms of production and also in terms of market.
Yes, Philip, I know that your company is mostly orientated on ex-Soviet Union countries like Belarus and Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and Russia. But beside of it, Kenya is a big exporter to all around the world. I know to the Dubai, partly to China, to Australia, of course, European market. You correctly mentioned it, the retail in UK, in Germany, in Holland, in all around the Europe is also very, very strong bonded with the Kenyan flowers. Of course, next to them there is a big production in the Ethiopia, and there is also an Ethiopia for a long time also was competing Kenya for the spray roses. And I even now remember, like 15 years ago, everyone was running around and looking for the Brahm flowers spray roses from the Ethiopia. But if you look to the technically how the things is changed, and you said absolutely correctly that for ex-Soviet Union countries, the Ecuadorian flowers were like a target, and they try to get the same from the Kenya. But now we see that it's changing, especially in the packing. Yesterday, we had a conversation about the Ecuadorian roses and how packing changed for ex-Soviet Union countries from the normal European to super jumbo XXL boxes. In your opinion, is it a healthy trend, or it's still not good because it's just damaging the flowers? This jumbo boxes.
Jumbo, it's called jumbo boxes.
Yeah, jumbo boxes.
Yes, I will share my sentiments that for a long time, customers have been suffering from paying for dead space. Customers have been incurring losses for paying for space, just not the flowers, but just paying for space. How did this one happen? It happened that farms putting not full pack rate to a box, such that if you compare the volumetric weight and the actual weight, of course, we all know that the airlines are charging based on the volumetric weight or the actual weight, whichever is higher.
Yes.
So in this case, the jumbo boxes really it can accommodate more stems in a box, thus making it more economical for the customer. So the customer pays for exact kilograms. If, for example, the Fataki box is 100 by 41 by 27, that is centimeter by 41 centimeter by 21 centimeter. If you do a proper calculation, it will give you a volumetric weight of 18.45. So it means if we pack less than, the box, and if the box weighs less than 18.45, it means that the difference between the actual and the volumetric is what the customer is going to pay for dead space, for just space. So what we make sure is that the actual weight is more than the volumetric weight. And this is a jumbo box, meaning that the customer really benefits from the actual weight. So it's not paying for whatever is not paying for any space. It's paying for actual weight, which is more than volumetric weight. So the jumbo box really is a game changer. It's a game changer in terms of cutting cost and making sure that the customer gets profitability.
Absolutely agree with you, Philip. But at the same time, I should share with you my considerations about how it affects the quality, because then it means that it's very important to take care about the proper packing and how you are solving this issue.
First of all, it's a combination of, when we talk about packing, it's a combination of factors. For example, when we talk about packing, we have to go back and go to the quality of the box. The quality has to be strong box, that is 5-ply top, 5-ply bottom. That makes sure that the flowers inside are fully covered. We all know during logistics, there's a lot of handling of the boxes at the cargo, at the tracking. So the box has to be strong. This protects the flower from packing to the final customer. And then number two, the bunching. If you check the double layer bunching, there is a separator which makes sure that the bunch itself is protected, so flowers do not wrap each other. So just in a summary, if the box is jumbo box and it's a strong box and the bunching is properly done, the double layer with separators inside, the flowers are guaranteed of smooth travel from packing to the final customer.
Yes. Another topic what I want to discuss with you, of course, that farms are most of the time in past were not interested in shipping by themselves. Through all these years, it's changing now. Many farms are offering the also the air cargo services. And you see that number of the cargo agencies in Kenya grow, and then happen the acquisition, then it's becoming the less, then again grow. Many airlines are coming, leaving, increasing number of flights and decreasing number of flights. In your opinion, through all these years, of course, cargo agencies learned a lot about how to make the process, how to get proper paperwork, and some of the agencies even have oven vacuum coolers as an extra service. But do you see that after the COVID, the change with cargo capacity, is it going to be more tight or it is going to be better?
Oh, well, I think it's a combination of factors for now. As you know, in Africa, the traffic of aircrafts coming to Africa, there's not much coming from outside Africa to Africa. So there is limited traffic. In other words, aircrafts just come here for other specific reasons other than flowers. So they have to find a reason why they come to Africa. And if that reason is available, then now on their way back to Europe or other destinations, then there is the availability of capacity. And I mean, from Africa, in terms of fresh cut flowers, it's only flowers which are perishable, flowers which have more demand, because the production in Kenya is increasing, and there is some acute shortage of capacity out of Africa. So I don't see the situation changing to the better. I think there will be still some vacuum in terms of capacity from Africa to the market because of the increased production.
From your daily experience, can you mention your most favorite airline or the airlines which is fitting your needs for shipping?
Oh, yes, of course. From the customer's point of view, we prefer direct flights from Nairobi to Amsterdam. I will say KLM is preferred airline, Cargolax, and Martin Air. These three airlines, in terms of order, there's KLM, Martin Air, and Cargolax. KLM is a direct flight from Nairobi to Amsterdam. That is, I think, daily flights other than Thursday. And this provides a smooth uplift of fresh cut flowers from Nairobi, directly 8 hours, landed Amsterdam.
Yes, I see. But for our viewers, I should just make some comment that when we talk about the Martiner and the KLM, we mean the same group of the companies, but Martiner is the traditional name for the cargo division of the KLM. And if you say KLM, we mean exactly the passengers wide body flights which can carry also the cargo. So just to
Correct.
sure it's because officially Martiner not existing already for years. So if we go back to Kenya, if we talk about the climate change and about the environment, do you feel through all these years that climate change is affecting the production and the quality?
Yes, big time, big time. The climate change is affecting the production of fresh cut flowers, as we have witnessed before. It can be prolonged period of dry weather, which means that some farms run without water for irrigation. That poses a threat to the quality of roses because, you know, if roses are not properly fed with water, it's the face life, the quality deteriorates. So by the time the customer receives the flowers, it's easily visible that it is not good quality flower because the water fed is not good, or it's been rationed. That is one way the global climate change has affected production. And then the other way, it's too much of raining. It can be too much raining, making it too wet, such that sometimes for island farms, it can be a problem to manage botrytis. So the climate change has really affected the production of fresh cut flowers from Africa.
I see. The Kenyan flower industry became a really international flower industry. There is Dutch people, French, Germans, from India, local guys. Now even people from Russia and the Ukraine is in Kenya presented. Do you see that it's positively affects the industry because people can learn from each other?
Yes, I still agree that the focus has now changed to the Kenya flower industry. Last year in March, I went to Ethiopia, and from what I observed from Ethiopia is that there was a lot of inconsistency in terms of production, and even some other farms were like closing. And we see not like before in 2007 and 8 when Ethiopian floriculture was picking up. I think because of the instability in the country, a lot of focus now is turning to Kenya. And if you cross the border to our neighbors in Tanzania, also all the flower farms which were in the country were closed. We used to have Kenyan farms with the branch farms in the neighboring country. So all that has been consolidated into Kenya, such that the Kenyan production has really increased.
Yeah. If we look to the farms and farms number, what is the tendency? The existing farms are getting bigger or coming new farms?
We have existing farms which forming kind of a group,
Expanding.
yeah, expansion. We have both expansion of existing farms, and we also have new farms. Mir, I can tell you for the last 15 years as buying, even up to today, I cannot champion myself and say that I know all farms in Kenya. At least there'll be some new farm which I don't know every time. And sometimes I also receive a request from customer, do you know this particular farm? And then I say, no. And then to find out it's just a new farm which just started to produce just like a few months ago. So the expansion in Kenya is there for both existing farms and also new farms coming on board.
I see. Philip, we are both quite long in this flower business, and we know that flower business at the early years built us person-to-person business, and a personal relationship is very, very important. And it's a very beautiful side of this flower industry, but in my opinion, from another side, is also slowly killing us, because people can call you 20 times per day, and just until they get what they needed. Do you believe that now the flower industry is slowly preparing itself to get changed to more to the IT side, to get to more to the programs, to the proper softwares? Because as you know that younger generations, they have a completely another vision about how business should work, and they're not going to pick up the phone on the Sunday night and etc. So this is mostly our generation, because not because we are bad or we are wrong, but we grow up in such conditions, because many years ago, you know, there was also MSN and the fax, and there was no WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever. So in your opinion, is the Kenyan market slowly ready for this changing and becoming more progressive, IT software orientated?
Oh yes, oh yes. I would say that the wave of change is here, and things are really changing. Because if you check back then, the market share for Kenyan flower farms was more to the auction, and this matrix is changing now. A lot of farms want to sell direct sales, direct marketing. Of course, this comes not only with just selling to the direct marketing, but also comes with challenges for specification, precise instructions from the customer. So if we check the move now, that with the fact that farms are changing slowly from auction to direct sales, it is coming with a full package of a change of the mindset, that the customer wants the orders in a particular specific way. I explained that if you compare now and then, the focus now for the marketing is changing. A lot of farms are now more focused to splitting their share to direct marketing, as opposed to before. Many farms, the market share was 30% direct marketing and 70% auction. In all farms I have gone through, even in Kenya, the number of farms increasing. 100% direct is increasing. A lot of farms are now migrating from auction to direct marketing. Now, this calls for change of the way of doing business, because the auction is more of just packing and sending to the auction, and then you know the process for the auction. Now, with the change of the focus to direct marketing, you find now the farms have to be more specific. They have to pay a lot of attention to the customer's requirement. For example, the way to bunch, the way to label the box, the specification in terms of head size. And this calls for more attention, more different focus, that you have to be available for the customer all the time. You just mentioned that before in Kenya, the way of doing business was not like normal way. The relationship, your personal relationship also matters. But now this is changing, that the way of doing business has to be now more professional, such that customer details are followed. You have to respond to customer on time. If, for example, a customer calls a particular farm and there's no response, then of course the repercussions are predictable, that the customer will go to the next farm. Nobody wants to lose a customer just because you are not responding to phone calls or you are not responding to emails. So the way of doing business currently is now more professional approach than before. So yes, it is changing. It is changing the way of doing business in Kenya to be a more professional approach.
Philip, there was a tendency some time ago, because I think that I have been in Kenya 8 to 10 times, or maybe even more. I remember before the COVID, when I was in Kenya, there was a tendency that many of the farms and the packing houses, they were busy with packing the ready bouquets for the their customers around the world. Is this tendency still going, or is going to be less, and people still prefer the classic box with the flowers?
I think, yeah, I agree with you. It was on trial basis. It was on trial basis that, of course, the bouquets can be assembled in Africa, or rather in Kenya, because it is cheaper to assemble the bouquets here. But lately, I don't see that happening much. Flowers are living just with the normal bunches. A little number of bouquets are done in Kenya. And I would say the reason is because I would say failure to satisfy customer requirement. So yes, as I said before, the move for direct marketing is changing things, and you can see the response from the customer. If the customer doesn't get what he or she wants, the reaction is very prompt. They switch to somewhere else.
Yes.
So for now, I think it's not being done now in Kenya; it's done elsewhere, and that is the reason why, for example, as Fataki Packing Kenya Limited, we have come in to bridge the gap between the farms and the customer. What we are now, we've identified the laps between the customer satisfaction and what farms can do. And that's now basically what we are doing. I hope very soon we will attract more customers, and we can do the bouquets composition here in Nairobi as Fataki Packing Kenya Limited.
Yeah. We spoke with your colleagues a few days ago, and I said my opinion that you opened this business right on time, because many of the customers, they have very high and special demands, and this packing house can precisely help them to achieve their goals. But in the same time, if you look to this business from the perspective as a farm, what you think in the portfolio is the part of the flower brokers in the farm and the direct customers? Are farms still mostly working with the flower brokers or with the direct customers, from your personal opinion?
The farms are more focused in the direct customers, because they say that, of course, if they do direct marketing, the returns, it's more profitable, because then they can plan their cash flow. They have fixed prices, as opposed to doing the auction, because the auction, yes, it can be very active, and then it can also go down. There is no consistency, and because of that, the focus of farms is now more indirect sales.
In the early years of the Kenya flower industry, there was a tendency that farms ask and propose to the customers to have a standing order, because it was a way to secure the number of the flowers, varieties, and days of the week. Through all these years, and when the production is increased, is it still practicing to make an agreement for the standing orders, or market has enough, or market has enough of the production?
Yeah, a very good question, because then you also find in Kenya, it depends from farm to farm. It depends from farm to farm. I would say some farms are more professional. They stick to their agreement. If it is a standing order, it is fixed. Other farms, well, it's a standing order, but then you also have to remind them that this is a standing order. And then there is another group of farms whereby it is a standing order, But then if they get a better deal, then they forget slightly about the standing order. So it's a combination of the three factors: the farms that really professional or really respect the standing order, such that even if the market is so strong, they are still loyal to the standing order year round. And another group of farms, oh really, yes, the standing order is still there, but you still have to remind them that there is a standing order to be supplied on a specific day of the week, then they will supply. And then there's another group of farms in Kenya whereby, well, it depends in the market. If the market is better than what they have, better deal, then of course they are not loyal to the standing order. So that is the situation in Kenya. That depends from farm to farm.
Yeah. Through all these years of Kenya business, I remember the early days. There was a gentleman, Sadiq Samadov. He came many years ago to Kenya and to develop and to, let's say, connect the demands of the customers in Eastern Europe with the way how in Kenya they're doing the business. I even know that in Kenya there is existing the flower sort flower variety rose with name Sadiq, and it's very interesting that how industry paid back for all these efforts and years that he invested in the build a proper connection between the customers and the farms. But if you look now to the situation, is there more varieties in coming years we can expect, or market is settled with the existing varieties?
There is a lot of new varieties coming on board. And of course, I call some are very niche varieties to the sense that even some farms, like for example, Manfieldsbach, Julieta, Gazelle, all these kind of new niche garden-like spray roses are becoming now more popular, and even some farms block so that they can really produce just like no other farm can produce. Ever red also is also another red which has been appreciated by the market. So from where we sit, we see a lot of change with the new varieties. And now as Fataki, we also want to show the customers that we can really repack the niche varieties, make sure that because it's an expensive flower, we make sure that we pack in a very good box so the customer does not lose the value for the flower, and they receive the flower as fresh and in good quality as from the farm. So yes, there is a lot of new varieties, and these things are changing. Things are changing pretty fast in the flower industry with the coming new varieties.
If we talk about the varieties, I see last 5 years there is also a lot of the new sort of products are coming from Kenya. People are trying to grow the gypsophilia, alstroemeria, carnations. How this is going? Is it becoming the successful, or still Kenya will have the brand name as a country of the roses?
I think still roses will be the champion in Kenya. For the other non-rose varieties are not grown in large scale, or rather, it's small scale farmers, and there is no consistency. There is no guarantee that it will happen. So roses is still the main thing in Kenya in terms of flower business.
I see. Philip, I see that you are a hard worker because your phone is on late at night and you are online early at the morning. Uh, how is the situation now with the getting right people on the right place? Because I know that all around the world we hear and see that number of people on the planet is increasing, but if we talk to the entrepreneurs, they are crying that number of the proper employees are decreasing. So how difficult is the situation on your side? How how difficult it is to source and educate and find the right employees?
Well, I say thank you very much for the compliment that yes, I'm awake and I sleep late and I wake up early. And the key, the driving motivation is customer satisfaction. The secret to the business is to stay connected to the customer, be available, be interactive, make the customers feel that you are available all the time. And for our case, we are available, if not on Skype, on email. We have Instagram, we have the TikTok, we have the YouTube. So we try as much as possible to keep connected to the customer. So that is the trick.
Yeah, I see. And if we talk about the workers and the packing house, how you educate people and how you treat them and how you take care about the labor conditions. Can you please tell a bit more about this?
First of all, we have a team of qualified personnel as Fataki. These are people who have experience in handling of fresh cut flowers, and they know to succeed in business is to make sure that the customer is happy, to meet customers' satisfaction. So having this in mind, they know exactly what they are supposed to do in a more professional way. If it is receiving, we receive the boxes from the farm. We know how to treat the flowers. Once we receive, the flowers have to be pre-cooled in a post-harvest solution in a cold room. And then after 3 to 4 hours, they know that the flowers have to be worked on, graded, sorted, checked whether they are free from pests and diseases. And then from there, now the process starts until packing. So these are employees with experience in the flower industry.
I see. And can you please tell us a bit about the technical details, like about how big is your packing house, how many cold rooms, and how many people are working, how many boxes you are packing per week in high season and in low season?
Yes, so we began our operation in January this year. So it's it's something which we began this year, and we have a size of 10 employees who work in the pack house, and the pack house has a floor area of 250 cubic square meter, and also 250 cubic square meter for the cold room. And yeah, so it's 9 employees with a supervisor who really oversees the operations of the pack house. In terms of boxes, we do an average of 50 boxes per day. So that translates into around 250 boxes per week.
Philip, if we talk now more about you and about how you dealing on the daily basis as a general manager, general director, how it's your day begins and how it ends, how many times per week you are visiting the farms, and how you are managing such a company.
All right. Okay. My day begins at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. I have to wake up in the morning, check my emails, communication with customers, plan my day, and that takes me around 1 hour. 1 hour. So in 1 hour, around 6 o'clock, I do a little bit of gym, trying to get fit for the day, and that takes me around 30 minutes. So I leave home 6:30 because of traffic. And I plan to arrive every day morning, 7:30 in the morning. I plan to arrive at work. When I arrive at work, I check the deliveries, or if farms have delivered the products, check the code room, meet the staff, plan the day with my manager, who is the post-harvest manager, plan all the orders for the day. So that takes me around 2 to 3 hours. I make sure that everything is set for the day. And then I get to my office work, continue my communication with customers. Of course, I'll find a list of emails awaiting my confirmation or my reaction, because having left it around 6, then by 10, it's a long list. So I have to go through the list, get in touch with customers, offer my availabilities, because already I have seen what we have in stock. I offer availabilities, send videos to customers. This is what we have. If there is any new development, I have to keep my customers updated about the new developments. Say, for example, the weather is raining. Yeah, it's how it affects. It will affect the production. Beware of botrytis. Yes, everything is okay. Just general update. And then I check the progress of the day. Midday, I have to go again to the floor, check whether everything is in place. Anything which needs to be communicated to the customer. For example, are we meeting the expectations? What is the percentage of completion for the orders? And from that time, I know, yes, if there is any urgent communication to the customer, then I will know, yes, I'm supposed to alert the customer, hey, we have something here, can we solve together? So we keep the customers involved during the process chain. And then no surprise to customer. We would like to surprise customer. Well, we cannot do ABCD. So we keep the customer updated. When I get to work in the morning, that is from home, I arrive office around 7:30. And as I said, when I arrive in the morning, I have to go to the floor to check, plan the day with the post-harvest manager, check all the deliveries from farms. I have to confirm all the deliveries have been done, because most of the deliveries are done at night. So we have to check whether all the deliveries have come according to the orders. And then we plan the day. That takes me around 1 hour. And then I get to the office to catch up with the emails. Having checked the emails at around 6, then now it's a list of emails awaiting my reaction, my attention, to the customers. That takes me around 2 hours. And then I proceed back to the post-harvest floor. I have to check the progress of the processing. Are we meeting our targets? Because it has to be 100% by the end of the day. So I have to check the percentage of completion. And by midday, I expect that we are almost 50%. And in case of any new development, I have to inform customer. I have to keep the customers updated about the progress, such that there are no surprises. So afternoon, of course, is closing the orders, closing the operations, and making sure that everything goes as per plan till the end. And then, of course, later evening, it's my connection again with the customers, checking what's new, updating customers about new developments and stuff like that. So that's how my day ends. And then I'm always connected. You can reach me on WhatsApp every time
Yes.
before I sleep at around 11.
Philip, how we can consider the customer demands? Because I can clearly divide them in two groups. First group is that clearly only looking for the certain color. And the second group of the customers, they're looking for the specific varieties. How you consider these segments in your business?
Well, we even have more. We have several categories of customers. We have price customers who want cheap flowers but good quality flowers. So we make sure that we get these customers that kind of range. Normally, such customers buy in big volumes. So the advantage is better price, but volumes are good volumes in terms of numbers. We have customers who are niche customers who really want they want value for money, and they also want the quality. So those are niche customers, and there are farms in this particular category that this customer wants. He doesn't want cheap. He wants uh, value for money, and he
Yeah.
also wants quality. So how to blend the two? Then it's in between. So these customers also buy relatively not as much volume as the price buyers. And then we also have the quality buyers customers. Quality buyers customers, they just specific value for money and quality. They
Specific
buy
farm.
in small volume. Yeah. And then from specific farms, they don't buy only from all farms. There are specific farms who produce these niche varieties like Julieta, Manfield's Bombastic, such kind of premium products. But then in all the groups of customers, if we check about the color combination, they also order mixes. When the customer orders mix as Fataki, we know what a mix means. A mix means a complete color mix, that all colors are included. We have inclusivity, not by variety, but by colors in equal proportion. So we consider that. And also, other than the color mix, they also want the presentation in a bunch to be more presentable in terms of the head size. They want the head size to be equal in a bunch, so that when a customer looks at the bunch, it is equal head size, not big head size mixed with small head size. That is not good. They also check the cut stage. Cut stage is how the flower is ripe, the openness. So it has to be uniform in a bunch. So you don't see flowers which are not ripe and other flowers are ripe. It doesn't look good. So we make sure that the full package is offered to the customer.
Uh, Philip, we even met with you today for the first time, but I can talk with you for hours and hours and discuss the things how it goes. But I think that we need somehow to keep some topics for our future meetings. Of course, in our future meetings, we will speak about how the process of the quality control goes. We will speak about the cooperation with the farms, cooperation with the cargo agencies. We will definitely speak about the terrible traffic to the airport, and all these topics are going to be discussed. But for now, I want to ask you one personal question, and please try to give me let's say, your top three of the varieties that you like yourself personally, not in terms as very good in the commercial sale. You as a person, top three varieties you like.
Top three varieties. Well, I love Everett
Yes.
as Philip. I also love Bombastic,
All right.
and and I love Julieta.
Okay. Very good. Uh, Philip, one more question. We today had with you great interview, and through this internet connection problems and all the other things, nothing can disturb us from the general line. But where you see the next challenge for the Kenyan flower market? Is it going to be weather? Is it going to be some economical crisis? Is it going to be some competitions from the other countries? Where you see the next challenge for the Kenya flower industry?
Well, I see the next challenge for the Kenya flower industry is the inconsistency in production. That will be a challenge because what I see now, there is a lot of production now. So this means that farms had flashed for Valentine, had flashed for Women's Day, Mother's Day, and this is all coming in once. So now the inconsistency in production, it will be the main challenge. There'll come a time when production goes again down, and customers will be looking for flowers, trying to fulfill their orders. So how to balance that is that act of production so that we have a production, staggered production throughout the year without ups and downs. I think that will be a challenge for the Kenyan production.
Okay. Philip, once again, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your proper and honest answers. I wish you the more orders than the emails. I wish you more flowers than the traffic, and I hope that your rest of your day is going to be gorgeous. And take care, and I hope that we speak soon again. Thank you, Philip.
Thank you very much, and I look forward to interacting with you and sharing our opinion, our sentiments to the world. That yes, there is future in the flower business, and the future is here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.